So we are so excited to be here. We are the Hallmarkies podcast, and we have a very special guest today. The Postables are going to be super excited. And I am Rachel, and Amber's here.
Hello, everybody.
Our special guest, we're so excited. Rita herself is here. Crystal Lowe is here to talk with us.
Hello, everybody. This is Crystal Lowe, and I am so ecstatic to be here and to talk about the next installment of Sexual Delivered.
Yeah, we are so excited, and we're so excited to talk to you. So thank you very, very much. And
you're welcome.
What we like to do is we like to just ask our guests to introduce themselves and tell us a little bit about what inspired you to become an actress.
Well, I started acting so young. I was like kindergarten age, desperately wanting to be in these plays. And my mom was the director of the church plays because she was a preschool teacher there, or Sunday school teacher there. And when I got on stage for the first time, like I'll never forget that. You know, I was like, this is amazing. That was the kind of kid I was. You know, I always wanted to walk down a runway and do fierce turns and. But that was the moment that I thought, I want to be an actor. And having people come up to me and tell me that I did a great job definitely added to that. I was like, this is awesome. When I get on stage to perform, people come and tell me I'm awesome. This is amazing. And, you know, as I got older, I begged my mother to be in modeling and acting. And she did put me in it. Actually, you know, there's a funny story. I had gone to one of the modeling schools that they did modeling and acting. And we couldn't afford for me to get the lessons, but they wanted me enough after seeing me doing a little audition that they actually let me do it for free. And they said, look, we'll be her agent. And if she books jobs, we'll just take the money off for the classes then. And so they were for a little while. And my family ended up moving to Hong Kong, which kind of brought me out of that. But also what happened was I started going on auditions and my mom was just not impressed with how competitive some of the other parents were. And she was very concerned. She said, you know, with the kids, they don't know. They're just having fun. And this is a good time, but it's the parents that aren't, you know, kind of eyeing you up and down and looking at this as a competition. And that she just didn't feel comfortable with that for me. So she did pull me out. And then she said, if you really want to go back when you can drive yourself to auditions, you can sort that out. You can. And the minute I could, I did. Actually, I think I was 15, and that's when I signed on with Tyler Levine's mother, another actor. And she had like an agency of like being basically a stage mom because my mom was a working mom. And then once I got my driver's license, I would take myself to auditions. Oh, wow. So that's the story. And she was so shocked when I was like, I'm going back. Like literally the moment that I knew I could, that was it.
Uh-huh. Yeah. What do you think you liked about it at such a young age, aside from like attention?
Well, the attention was wonderful. Honestly, I still love the attention. But also, it was for me, it's fun. You know, like some people love playing sports. I mean, I like playing sports too. That's really fun. But acting on stage and playing is fun. It's fun for me. Like performing in front of audiences I enjoy it. I want to do that. And I think it was just something that I'd always had been born in me. And the attention was like an amazing benefit.
Yeah. Nice. Yeah. It's got to feel good to kind of step out of your shoes and play a whole nother part, you know?
Yeah. And also I just like to perform. You know, I really do. Like just recently I started doing some improv and I'm looking into improv troupes and how to work my way into one of those. Oh. I really like performing and I really like being terrified, and the improv terrified me so much because you have no prep. There's zero prep. You literally go on stage and somebody throws a word at you and then you go from there. But I enjoy that. You know, I enjoy, performing different things or trying new stuff. And the improv really taught me, because we had to do a show at the end. I did this kind of class workshop thing. Well, if it bombs, it was 25 minutes of my life. I'm not dead. Nothing has happened to me. If it bombs, it just bombs and I can move on. And you know what? We didn't bomb. It was great. People laughed. We had a good time. And I thought, well, that wasn't so bad. You know, what's the worst that can happen? We suck. It's 10 minutes of my life. And then we'll get better.
Yeah. Today is proven that we can all do better.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. I think I know I haven't really performed much just in high school and stuff, but just like, it does feel really great, like getting out there on the stage and just, I don't know, just, it's great getting to feel another person get out of yourself kind of a thing. And that's one of the things I like about movies, and getting to kind of see, and not even just like real life examples, but also like just fantasy, get to be something completely different for 2 hours. You get to, go to Middle Earth or Hogwarts, kind of thing. It's really fun. Yeah.
And you get to explore the human condition. And, I forget, because I'm always, with people in the industry, or not always, but I'm around a lot of people, and a lot of my friends are, we talk about, what do you think they're feeling right now? Why do you think they are the way they are? And it makes me laugh, because when I hang out with people that are not storytellers, they're like, I don't care. He's a jerk. He's nice. That's it. The end. And then you're like, oh, right. I'm an actor. So I'm always like, where does he that? What happened to them when they were 2? We have that going on. So it's very funny.
Yeah. So did you grow up watching a lot of like rom-coms and Christmas movies, the kind of things that you see on Hallmark?
I grew up watching a lot of British television because my mom's Scottish.
Yeah.
And British humor, Monty Python, that kind of stuff is always my favorite. I mean, they're just so funny. Yeah. And I'm so glad it's creeping its way into America, their style of comedy, because they're so brilliant, British humor. And I loved rom-coms. Like, I've seen Serendipity probably 100 times.
Yeah.
I love that movie. I love the idea of that movie, that if it's meant to be, it just will be. I just like it. There's a lot of Sweet Home Alabama is one of my favorite rom-coms.
Yeah.
I even call Legally Blonde a rom-com. That was one of my favorite, although that's a little more feisty. But, and I like watching those because I need them. I need to remember that love exists. And love conquers all. Nice.
I love I call it the Reese Trilogy. You got Just Like Heaven, Legally Blonde, Sweet Home Alabama.
Yep. Sweet Home Alabama is the best, though, I think.
Good era. Yeah. I really like that movie, because I think they do such a good job of keeping both of the love interests as nice people. And I know some people, like Amber, really likes the over-the-top bad guy, and that can be fun, I guess. But I prefer, like, I don't know. I think it's more interesting for your heroine to have to debate between these
harder
two
decisions.
choices. Like, neither one is bad.
Well, that's The Notebook, right?
Yeah.
That was The Notebook.
Mm-hmm. And did you ever see Brooklyn?
No, but I've heard of it. Everyone kept telling me about it, so maybe I'll watch that one tonight.
Yeah, that's a great one. And it's the same kind of thing. Like, she has these 2 options, 2 lives she could lead, and she has to decide. And so I think that's really good, because I love Candace Bergen. She's the best. She's so funny.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
absolutely,
that's cool. Yeah, and do you have like sort of Christmas movies that you would watch every year, kind of a thing?
I'm trying to think of what Love Actually I watch every single year.
Oh yeah.
It is absolutely a staple in my house. I have to see that at least once. And I also love watching Elf by Will Ferrell.
That's so funny.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, because Rita actually was based on that a little bit.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Which is a funny little ridiculous fact. But when I was thinking of Rita, I actually loved Will Ferrell's innocence in Elf.
Yeah.
Like, for example, when he goes in the coffee shop, and, congratulations! You did it! Like, what? This is world's best coffee, right? And I was like, oh, there's such a funny humor in that innocence, that real, like, belief, and if you really believe it, it's like, that's what makes it so funny.
Yeah.
Because he's really, it's hilarious. So that's
I love that too. I think that in many ways, have you ever seen Enchanted with Amy Adams?
I've watched that a lot. That's great.
I feel like those are the same movies, but one is and like, they're both these sort of fairy tale creatures that are in Manhattan, and I think what makes both of them work is that everyone plays it totally legit. Like, everybody not like a winking kind of like, oh, this is silly. No, like Patrick Dempsey, James Caan, like totally legit.
But that's why it works, you know, and that's why. And even Will Ferrell's character, even though he's crazy and over the top, he really believes it.
Yeah.
Genuinely, wholeheartedly, everything. And he is enough because it's true. He did grow up there, you know, and if it was true, you would be so impassioned about everything. And people tell you that's not true. You're like, what? The sky is blue. Are you crazy? You know?
Yeah. I really like that too. Just sort of the innocence of, you know, just an adult character that has a childlike innocence to it. It's really fun.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah, there's so many good ones. And so, and you've had a chance to be in a couple Christmas movies, right, for Hallmark?
I have. I was in Holly Lodge.
Yeah.
And which was awesome. Allison, what a woman.
Yeah.
Really. She's so cool. I love working with all these powerhouse women. They're so cool, you know. I'm like so inspired by them. Alison Sweeney's amazing. She's very driven. She cares so much about her shows, so much about her product, so much about getting it right for people so they really enjoy it and they get the laughs when they should. And she's very, very dedicated, and I really admire her. And everything she's done so many things.
She's so funny. I think she brings the humor in her performances, which I appreciate.
Totally.
In Hallmark, at least.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, and then The Hearts of Christmas was. Really good. I that's one of my favorite of the last like 3-4 years. I think it's really good.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a beautiful storyline, right? Such amazing nurses. They're incredible with what people do every day for, you know, and have to get put through. It's really hard, and we don't give them enough credit. So.
Well, and we sometimes joke that that the villain in Hallmark movies is business. Business is evil, you know, that's the villain,
right?
But in this case, in Hearts of Christmas, he's not a bad guy. Like, he's just doing his job. And so you know, and he learns and they learn, and I think that makes it unique. So
I agree.
And in Marry Me at Christmas, your character has to be, you know, makes a pretty big mistake. So that must have been interesting.
That was just fun.
Yeah.
I was just too busy looking at our two leads who look like Barbie and Ken. I was like, who are these people? Are they real?
Yeah.
Are these people real? Can I touch your face? Are you moving? It was very funny, but that was a really fun one too, because we filmed that in Revelstoke in BC, and that was really fun. A nice little getaway.
Yeah. I hope they do some more of that, because there's a whole series by Susan Mallory set there in that town. So I hope they do more of them. But
that would be really cool.
Yeah. I mean, they're about different characters in the town of Fool's Gold.
Oh, cool.
It was like a whole series. But yeah, and I was just so happy that we finally got Team Curly Hair. You probably had a hair when you had curly hair. You never have.
That's hilarious.
You're
right. Nobody ever does.
Yeah, right?
That is hilarious.
So,
what was it that originally drew you to the character Rita?
I think it was the fact that I'd never played anyone like her before. And when I actually got the sides and I looked at them, I phoned my agent and told them they sent me the wrong sides, because I thought, I think this is supposed to be for somebody else. So then when I booked it, which was bizarre to me, I was really excited. I mean, I used to sit, and I actually do this every so often, and I just did it again recently. I sit and kind of have a meditation with myself and ask what it is I really want. And I want a job that scares me every day. I want a job where I have to work hard, and I have to learn, and I have to be better. And I remember asking for that job. I want a job that scares me. And then I booked Seinfield and was like, oh, I didn't mean this quickly. I really need to rethink this of when the timing is right. But I was terrified to go to work. But that also made me feel very alive in my craft, which was amazing.
Yeah. Well, what do you like? What's your favorite qualities of that Rita has?
I love how kind she is.
Mm-hmm.
I love how supportive she is, but she's also like got a funny little backbone. I mean, when it comes to Shane with Dale, that would be a nice to meet you, Dale. Here's the door. I'm just going to walk you out and send you away. Bye-bye. So she still has a bit of bite to her, but it's always done in this really sweet, loving way, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that too. And she's so smart, but she's not like, she's not the kind of nerd that you typically see on shows. Like, I don't know. She's,
I know.
Yeah.
because not all people are in a box, and that's why I think people also really like Seinfeld, is because each character is very unique.
Yeah.
And none of them, you're like, well, that people aren't like that. You're like, well, why can't they be? Why can't somebody who's hyper intelligent, incredibly smart, also be really naive about many things? They can be, and that's what Rita is, that very book smart, but hasn't explored life as much as maybe you would think she has. And she has that naive way about her that is so beautiful, but she's still super strong.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I also love, she's so protective. Like you said, where she was like, okay, just bye to that guy. She's very, like, you can definitely see her go into like mama bear mode when people are messing with her people. And I really like seeing that.
When
that
it comes to Norman and Shane, she is so protective. I mean, she doesn't feel, I don't think she would feel she had to do with Oliver. I think she would look to Oliver like a big brother or father figure. So he kind of oversees us all, but if they need her, she's there. There's no question.
Yeah. Yeah. And why do you think that Rita and Norman have such great chemistry?
I think that I think sometimes chemistry is super fascinating. Like I personally, as Crystal, do, because sometimes you meet people and you're like, wow, we just click. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, or you'll meet people where you're like, wow, we don't click at all. Like we have no, it's not fluid or conversation. And Norman and Rita just clicked, even though they were both terrified to talk to each other and shy. There was still that chemistry there right from the beginning. They click. It's just another person that gets you. And as time grew and they were open about it with each other, you were like, oh, you really get me. And you have since the beginning. You never thought I was weird or different or too shy or not cool. You just saw me for who I was.
Yeah. That's really, really cool. I think that they both are different enough from everybody around them, but I don't know, they're like different in the same kind of way. And I feel like they're similar in the same kind of way. Both just understand being different.
They do.
Yeah.
And you know what? I think not only do they understand it, but as time grows, they embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Which is what I would like all of our fans, especially our young fans, to see, because who says what's normal? Who made those rules? People that want to be the norm, but you're allowed to make those rules too. Each person is very unique for a reason, and it makes me laugh. When I don't know if you guys have seen the reboot of 21 Jump Street, where they go back into the classroom and they talk about what's cool and what's not anymore. Geeks are cool now, man, because geeks are like the Steve Jobs of the world. Okay, so like the awkward nerdy people, those people are really cool, and they are incredible adults for the most part. So I just hope that everybody sees Norman and Rita and it's like, I see myself in them, and they found somebody that loves them just as they are, and I don't have to conform to anything.
It does give you, as a single girl, it does give you hope. Maybe there might be somebody who might find me in all my weirdness.
And that loves you for that, and you will, and that's, you don't have to conform to what social media makes everybody think everybody has the best life ever. And that's not true. Also, that's not real. It's not enjoyable. Like I don't want to see everybody have the bestest of everything all the time. That's boring. I want to see people that struggle and overcome, and people that relate to that. So.
Yeah. One thing that really impresses me about the show is I feel like it does such a good job of weaving in themes of faith without it being heavy-handed or preachy, which is very difficult to do. Most of the faith-based films struggle to pull off this balance, and I think that it does such a good job because it's from a truthful place and it doesn't judge the characters. A lot of times faith-based properties, they have a hard time making the characters not be judgmental of people that don't or that are struggling. And I don't know, how do you think they pull off that dynamic?
So I grew up in a very Christian home. My grandfather was a pastor of a Baptist church, and I went to church every Sunday, and I was, the pastor's grandchild. And we had a policy on Sundays that everybody was invited to dinner, no matter what you believed in, anything. There was it was who you loved, who you didn't love, whatever. If you were divorced, if you were married, any of those things. You came to the table, and my grandma always said this is a place to eat, and we weren't allowed to preach. It was just a place where people could come and enjoy a meal together. And that sticks out to me so much because, you don't have to hit somebody over the head with something and judge their choices to prove your point. That doesn't work. How about you just invite them into your home and say, this is how I live, this is what I believe, and this is how it helps me. And that's what our show does. This is the faith that I have that helps us, or Oliver has that's gotten him through. Shane goes, maybe there is a higher being, but Oliver never judges her for not believing in that. And he never judges either of us. He doesn't tell us, you have to believe this, or it's going to be the end. He doesn't. He says, this is what I believe. This is what I've gotten through. And you can join me if you need it. And that is a much easier way to talk to people about your faith. And some people will follow and some won't, and that's okay. As long as we're kind to one another. And that's what Seinfield does. It just teaches kindness, faith in a higher being, whatever that might be to you, and hope.
Yeah. Well, and I think Oliver would defend her, even not even just not criticize her. I think he would outright defend her, and early on, not even just when not they become dating. I think that's just part of his character.
Yes, because he's a gentleman through and through, and they're standing up for what you believe is right, which is crucial, especially in this climate. But there's also a way to speak to people, while standing up for what you believe is right. And you're never going to get anyone to agree with everything you say unless you listen to what they have to say, because it's only fair. And Martha said something to me the other day. She said, writing for people that believe the same thing you do, it's easy. Writing for people that don't believe in what you do, that's the hard part, is trying to explain to people where you're coming from without them being so turned off by it. Because you're forcing it at them, just talking to them. It was the same thing with the Sunday dinners at my family. So sometimes we would talk about religion with the people, and if they wanted to talk, Grandma would say, if they ask questions, you can answer, but this isn't a place to force our opinion on someone. This is a place for us all to eat. Yeah. And in that, we can get to know each other as people.
Yeah. Yeah. I particularly love the Christmas episode. For that, the Christmas movie. The Christmas movie, I think, is great in general.
Yeah.
But I loved, because we get all these Christmas movies, but we rarely get anything that is actually kind of about Jesus or
yeah.
I don't know. I just really thought that was such a touching, beautiful movie about her struggling, Shane struggling with her. Her faith and what happened to her at Christmas, and then, but also Oliver and the whole tree and the pageant and everything. I love that Christmas one. It was great.
Yeah. Yeah. And I finally got to play Mary, Mom.
Yeah.
My poor mom.
Yeah.
She's like, stop saying that story. I was trying to not be bad and, put my daughter in the lead. Yeah. That Christmas movie was great because, look, Oliver does believe in God, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
What's wrong with believing in God? Nothing. God gives people so much strength. There's nothing wrong with that. And to me personally, and some people call God a different name. To them, he is called something very different because they speak different languages. And maybe their scripture is different than ours, But if you want to believe in something, I'm never going to fault you. And my true belief is that in religion doesn't have bad in it, but I do believe that people use religion to push forward their own agendas. And human nature is dark and light a lot, you know. But God himself, if you believe in that, what's wrong with that? It's beautiful. You have somebody you know watching out for you at all times. You know, and if you believe in just the universe, that's great too. I think just humans, we need hope, and to believe that there's something that we were put on here to do better, that there's a reason to be better, and that there's something out there that has our back. Well, you know, when we need it.
Yeah, exactly. It's about hope, and but it's also like Seinfeld is also though a very funny show. Like, we don't want to make it sound like too serious. I love all the banter between everybody in the workroom in particular. I think is very funny, and I love when Rita's just like, it's like she's reciting all of the stats in her head. It's almost like she's got to finish it out. Like, you can't stop her.
Nope.
The whole thing.
This is the best part of Seinfeld. Okay. The best part is the fact that we can tackle big, issues so delicately, and give people hope, but also immediately make you laugh after. Like, literally, like, to be crying and then laughing through your tears. That is a gift that very few people can pull off, and Martha Williamson is one of those people that can pull that off.
It's like so in Still Magnolias when they say laughing
fun.
through tears is my favorite emotion, just like that.
Yes, it's true. You know, that release, and then you start laughing about something ridiculous, and you're like, oh yeah, it's laughed. That's a great line. I'm never going to forget that. Thank you for sharing that. That's a great line. And I haven't seen Still Magnolias in years. Somebody just said to me that my character reminded them of Dana. No, sorry, I'm blanking right now. From Mermaid. What was her name?
Daryl Hannah.
Yeah. Daryl Hannah. Is she in it with the glasses?
Yes,
that I reminded them of her. So I'm gonna have to watch it again. But
interesting.
But yeah, it's
Annelle is her character's name in Still Magnolias.
Okay. You're gonna laugh your butt off when you see this episode. There's so much funny. And Martha talks about really, taboo stuff in here too, but does it very, very well. And you're going to giggle. You're going to giggle.
Oh,
yep.
I'm so excited. Yeah, I'm so excited for Rita and Norman's wedding. That's going to be amazing.
It's great. It's so great.
Yay.
It was just another reason for me to get my hair and makeup done. And it was awesome. I was like, perfect. I get my dress on. I get to pick all my wedding favors.
Yeah.
It didn't really work that way, but it was close.
Yeah, it was a good. So I don't even know if you're married. Are you married?
Oh yes, I am. I really like my husband for the most part.
Well,
I'm married, so I don't like him all the time. Let's be real.
But was that fun? To have sort of another wedding, like it's like your work husband.
It was really weird because, obviously my husband knows Jeff really well too. So, but he was like, this is so weird. This is the first, show you've done that I can't wait till Norman and Rita kiss. That's weird. I laughed. It is weird, but it's not. He's like, because I just love them, and when I watch the show, it doesn't feel like I'm watching you. It feels like I'm watching them. And I was like, oh, that's nice. And the wedding thing was funny because I said, oh, honey, I'm getting married tomorrow. And he's like, whoa. Let's not say that. Okay, you're shooting your wedding tomorrow. I was like, okay, that's fair. He's like, you're not getting married tomorrow. That already happened.
That is really funny.
Yeah.
That's how it shows how good the show is. Even if your husband gets into the romance of it.
I know, right? Even he wants Norman and Rita to kiss. Just to laugh.
That's really good. It changed from a series to the movies, and what was that transition like for you, and how do you think that how do you feel about the movies versus the television show?
I was very disappointed at first because I actually originally thought we were just canceled. So I was like, oh, that was it, just one season, which was so sad because I knew what we had was something really special. But then I got the call that, no, we're not canceled. It's just turning into these movies. And I was confused by it. I won't lie to you. I was like, how is this going to work? But I'm so glad it happened. I think the storytelling format is better for our show. I really do. I think you get to really see the Postables grow so much more than you would in just the series. And you get to see a great B story, the letter story. You get to see that too. And that gives room for Martha to breathe and write whatever she needs to write. And I love it. I just wish if I could have it in a perfect world, they would come out a little closer together for you guys, you know.
Yeah.
Or,
so that people would stop sending you tweets saying, when's the next one coming out?
That's the only thing. Because I know that they're sporadically shown, and that part's a little hard for you guys that part's hard. But otherwise, I love the way that it is right now. I think it's great.
Yeah. Do you like that production schedule better than when the TV series?
Yes, of course. I'd love to be on a series again, but it's, it's hard to be away from your family all the time. And when when I do these films, I get to be a mom on my days off, and that's pretty awesome. So, I get to shoot for 4 weeks, and then I leave, and I'm writing and producing and directing and doing all this stuff in between. So it's allowed me to do my own stuff in the meantime.
Yeah. So do you have a favorite of the movies?
Paris with Love. That was one of my absolute favorites. But this one takes the cake for me. Oh. It's also, you get to really see Rita deal with a lot of big life issues for her, and my character has got a lot of stuff to play with this movie. It's not the only reason I love it. I love it because it's really well put together, but it was nice for me to get to, explore.
Yeah.
Big debate amongst the Twitter fans. Do you consider this the 10th movie or the 11th movie?
I don't know. Bootsy said that we've done 12 movies, and I was like, what? She said that we did, because we did the pilot was a movie, then we did 10 episodes, then we did the Christmas movie that was totally separate, and then we did another 10 movies. So I don't know. I honestly cannot remember. I can't even remember the titles of half of them sometimes, because everything. My life is so chaotic and a gong show in a beautiful way, but my brain is dealing with like 100 different things all at the same time. So I'm just happy to be working. I'll say 10, just because.
But there really is so much confusion, because even when they're like, I can't wait for the 10th movie, and then some people are like, I can't wait for the 90th movie. It's just, the numbering's really funny.
I know.
Yeah. Here's one thing I'm wondering. So does Eric like drinking all that Yoo-hoo drink?
I don't know that it's always, we're trained when we first start out to, like, if you have a food prop, you never ever, take it all unless you have to, or until it's the last take.
Oh yeah.
Because you're doing like 20 takes. So, if in the Christmas movie, since you guys love that one, Norman shoves cookies in his mouth to avoid telling me that my cooking is terrible.
Oh yeah.
And he immediately regretted that decision, because, for like 4 hours, he shoved those cookies in his mouth and then swallowed. And they were great the first time.
Right.
But nobody wants to eat cookies for 4 hours without barfing. So I think Eric is smart when he's dealing with those props.
Because I think Yoo-hoo is disgusting.
I've never drank it. I have no idea what it tastes like, because I grew up in Canada. I don't even know if we have it, so it's not something I would probably drink now.
It's like chocolate water.
And is it still? Right. But they could also just be doing other stuff in Yoo-hoo cups too.
That's true.
Yeah, they could. Yeah, they could put like almond milk with chocolate in there, chocolate almond milk or something for him. But I think he's pretty smart about that. He's been in the biz a long time, so he always knows how to operate around props.
Yeah. So you've had some really cool guest stars over the years you've gotten to work with. What are some moments that really stood out for you?
Carol Burnett, always, because she's so funny and so kind, so hilarious, sharing all these old stories with us. Meeting my mother, calling her by her first name, which was a surprise for my mom, and she was just like blown away. Meeting Della Reese. Della Reese was incredible. And, Martha came to me and said that this might be the last time Della Reese is on television. And that was an awakening for me in that moment, because I was nervous, and I thought, oh my gosh, you're right. I'm just going to be here with this powerhouse, this woman, in this moment. And I don't care if I know the lines, and I don't care what happens. I'm just going to be here with her. And I was. And she looked at me and said, you are magnificent, which is not scripted. She just said that and looked me dead in the eye. And I felt everything from her in that moment. And both of us just cried. The director was crying behind the monitor.
Yeah.
And now looking back, I think that it was her last time on television, and how fortunate I was to have that opportunity.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And and then you got to work with Valerie Harper, which I'm so jealous.
Yeah.
I love.
She was a hoot.
Her. Yeah.
She was amazing and funny, and she did such a great job. She was in our first episode, so we were all so kind of nervous, and we hadn't really worked together very long, so we didn't even know what the dynamic was going to be, and she just made everything easy. Great story of Valerie Harper with her husband, but she had that dance routine that was fantastic. And I walked in, and Tony, her husband, was sitting in the back behind all the cameras doing the moves with her and counting it down. And I just loved it, because I thought, I hope my husband, when I'm performing, is behind me somewhere going 5, 6, 7, 8. I mean, it was just, it was the best. They are my role model relationship. It was beautiful to watch.
Oh, that's so cool. That's great to hear. Because I love her as Rhoda in Mary Tyler Moore. I just think she's amazing.
One other question I wanted to ask, and then I'll let you go.
Okay.
So, do you wear glasses in real life? Or has that been in it?
I do not.
You do not. Okay.
No.
Because I know Amber, when she saw you in Holly Lodge, she was like, "It's so weird. She doesn't have glasses."
I'm going to tell you, people actually literally don't know who I am. Like, when I go to GCAs, they're like, what show are you on? And I always say I'm on Seinfield. They're like, I don't think so. I mean, I even had a woman say to me, no, that's not you. She was very drunk. It was actually pretty funny.
Oh, no.
She was like, you're too tanned and you don't have glasses. Okay. I'm not even going to bother. I'm just going to say yes. I was like, yeah, you're right. She's like, you're a producer. I said, sure.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fight with people when they're drunk, because there's no winning. You always lose. So it's a pointless conversation. But it happens a lot. People have no idea who I am. Yeah,
that's so funny. Like, most people, people don't recognize them in glasses, but it's the reverse.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, it's like this old Superman thing where like Clark Kent puts on glasses and people are like, who are you? I've never been sure. I'm like, really?
Yeah.
Really? But I guess. Yeah.
That's funny.
Well, you're the best. Officially now, you're my favorite person. Appreciate you giving time to tell us, and we're so excited about the new movie and Rita and Norman's wedding. We can't wait.
Me too. I can't wait to share it with you guys. I hope you love it as much as I do, and thank you so much for having me on your show.
Anytime you want to come on. Like social media that you'd like to plug?
Yes. I'm on Real Crystal Lowe on both Instagram and Twitter. Please follow me. And to let you guys know, Kristen and I are doing a 12-week fitness challenge together. And here's something funny. Our trainer is Jeff Gustafson's brother, Ben from TurnFit. And so he's training us via his app, and we'll be blogging and tweeting, and not blogging, I'm lying. We'll be tweeting and Instagramming about our experience and what we're doing, and the food that we're eating and all of that stuff. And hopefully it inspires other people to get on a fit challenge journey with us too.
That's awesome. That's great.
Yeah.
I'll have all that links in the description section if you want to check it out.
Great.
Make sure to follow Crystal. And Amber, where can people find you?
As always, I'm at Amber Brainwaves on Twitter, and that's it.
And you can follow me at Rachel's Reviews on iTunes and on YouTube. So check that out. I'd really appreciate it. And we plan on doing some kind of post-movie coverage, podcast, whatever, something next week. So make sure to all our listeners, make sure you're checking that out. And we will be really excited to geek out about the latest Signed, Sealed, Delivered to the Altar movie.
Amazing.
Yeah. And
Amazing.
and make sure you're following the podcast at Hallmarkies Pod on Instagram and Twitter. And if you can put in your reviews on iTunes, we really appreciate it. Helps people find the podcast more quickly. So thanks again, Crystal. And
No problem.
have a great rest of your day, great rest of your weekend, and we
You
look
too.
forward to live tweeting with you and everything this weekend.
Me too. I'll see you then.
All right. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.